episode, everyone. Episode 5 of Who Invited Will. I'm joined by Neil.
What's up, boys?
And the man himself, Will.
That's me.
Oh, where's the energy, Will?
That's me.
Where's it? I can already sense that the energy is low today. Does anybody want to tell me why? I know you two had a late night.
Yeah.
That's why the energy's low. We had a late night.
This is going to be, Neil, you got to bring the energy this one, man.
Hey, I had a late night as well. I got a call at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
What's so funny? These two imbeciles called me at 1:30 in the morning. Will was texting me, hey, Neil, wake up. It's an emergency. Luckily, I was up because I was watching Korean baseball. Don't ask me why, but I got to watch some sports.
I got 5 on it.
And he basically told me, hey, it's an emergency, Neil. Please call me. So I'm like, oh, God, something happened. You know, something happened to Jay or something happened to Will. Something happened. This idiot probably messed something up. All right, let me call him. Maybe our apartment's on fire. So I call him. He answers, hey, man, I just want to say I miss you. Unbelievable. 1:30. I mean, it's nice. I mean, I miss these guys too, but pick your time.
Hurry up, call. Quickly call. Dude, please pick up.
I mean,
what is it? I just wanted to say I miss you, man.
I just miss you, man. How are you? How are you doing?
How was your day?
I'm half asleep.
You got some vino, though. Cheers.
Salute, everyone.
I almost
That's
feel
going to
like
help with the energy.
I should be drinking
now.
So you guys had a good night?
Yeah, it's fun.
That was fun. We just talked for a long time, hung out with Will and his lady. It was good. We went to the park earlier in the day. Dude, when you get back, we got to just hit the park up like every weekend of summer because
I'm about it.
That place is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have a lady friend with you, Jay?
No.
What's going on?
The incel train continues. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, quarantine life, man, it's tough.
It's true. And it's like, well, I guess we were going to talk about dating apps and like, I don't know. I feel like they've changed a little during quarantine where it's like nobody even expects to meet up. Like people are just so bored that they're just swiping with no expectation of ever seeing the people.
I mean, before I got into a relationship and I was on them, people were definitely still saying like, hey, looking for a quarantine buddy. And I don't know, I guess they were going, just like having house dates, but then that's kind of weird too. If you're not ever seeing someone and then inviting them over for the first time. Like I've been on so many dates that have been horrendous that I would never want someone to know where I live without me at least seeing them first.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the dating apps whatsoever. Like you're saying that, oh, now it seems like a lot of people are swiping without even wanting to meet up. I feel like that it's like that all the time. Like I think most of the people don't take it seriously. No, so I'm kind of old school. I'm definitely old fashioned. Like I want to meet somebody in person. And I try to be outgoing and go do stuff. And if I still believe in fate, this is getting a little corny up in here right now. But
your soulmates walking around out there and divine providence will bring you two together.
But then that's the whole thing with all that stuff is like you trying to meet someone out. Sorry. Maybe if it's like through friends or something or at the park. But I would prefer to meet someone on a dating app than at a bar. I mean, bars are horrible.
I didn't say bar. I didn't say bar. I mean, like I said, I'm a hopeless romantic, right? I believe in fate. I believe in true love, Will.
You're going to poetry readings and well,
I don't know about that. I didn't say that.
Museum. You're at the museum just brooding over paintings and you're like, when will true love find me?
Jay.
It's maybe Gamblers Anonymous. You could meet someone. I don't know.
Jay, thanks, Will.
They're broke. 3 days
Jay, you're single.
They're living on the streets because they've bet everything away.
Jay, you're a single guy like me. Me and you are the two single guys. Will's recently in a relationship.
Recently off the market, ladies.
What if our soulmates are watching the show right now?
I don't believe
What
in
if one of our viewers, maybe it's fate. Maybe that's why we were meant to make the podcast. Who knows? It could, anything
There
can
you go.
happen, right?
I mean,
Ladies,
definitely.
I think guys, I think the wine's getting to me already.
One of the oh, dude, look how romantic and he's a hopeless romantic. Look at him. He's drinking a goblet of red wine.
ladies, you heard it first here, exclusive.
Christ.
I think Will
If you're
still got.
Dude, wake
if
up,
you
Will.
like what you
Dude.
see and what you hear, feel free to reach out and slide in them Who Invited Will DMs.
Will, if I'm going to Gamblers
Please send
Anonymous,
it.
Will, if I'm going to Gamblers Anonymous, you're going to Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay?
Ooh,
All right. So,
Nah.
boom. Roast.
Stroke Anonymous.
Yeah, but here, the other thing with dating apps, getting back to the whole dating app thing,
what's that?
I think it's ruined a lot of relationships for people.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely, because when things are not going well, when you're in a relationship with somebody, I'm not saying me in particular, but I'm just saying in general, people can get on the app and they can see things and they're tempted. There's a lot of temptation with the apps. You can go on there and see people of the opposite sex or the same sex, depending who you are, that physically look good, and they look better than who you're with, and you're mad at the person you're with. So you want to start, seeing what else is out there. Now with these dating apps, it's really easy to do that when you're just swiping left, swiping right. If you can talk on the down low behind people's backs. I mean, technology has ruined, has made it a lot more difficult to not cheat. It's made it a lot easier for people to cheat on one another. And I think it's led to a lot more breakups and divorces than in the past.
But I would also
Good.
say it's well, for me, it could possibly be the opposite of where I think in the past it was a lot easier to cheat because like if you didn't have a cell phone, people didn't know where you were at. People had whole families that they were hiding.
Yeah.
So
People
it's
still
like
have whole families,
The
dude.
old business
whole
trip.
families that they're hiding from their other families. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I have another business trip this weekend, and then they just walk into another house. Hey, daddy's home.
And it's not like people can't just call. It's not, people, before cell phones, if you can't get a hold of someone, if you can't call their landline, then it's like, well, I don't know where they're at. They could be dead. They could be in Timbuktu. But
Will,
now, you can always get a hold of people.
when you were working in the oil field, did you ever meet anybody who had a separate family when they're out on the rig site? I did.
No, but the one thing, he didn't have a separate family, but he had an app that he used to cheat on his wife with, that he stored all the pictures, and it looked like a calculator, and you had to put in a keyword. Like you had to put in like 5 times 77, and then it would unlock it. So, but it works like a normal calculator.
Boom.
Unreal.
My point exactly. It just makes it so much easier to hide things.
But if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat, bro. Like that guy,
exactly.
he was just committed with the app. Like I don't know. I kind of want that app, honestly, dude. Not to cheat, but you never know.
Okay.
Just to hide stuff. Yeah.
Just hide my
your booties, your Instagram booties.
I looked up divorce rates in the 1960s, and I compared it to the divorce rates right now.
Okay, well that doesn't.
3 times higher now.
But dude, back in the 60s, you could like beat your wife and fucking cheat on her anytime you wanted, and then she couldn't leave you, or else she'd be labeled like a troubled woman or something, and then she couldn't get a job in the workforce. So
to me,
it was way different back then.
I agree. That's what
people couldn't even drink from the same water fountains. Haven't you been watching the news?
Oh man, here we go.
No, but for me, it's more the fact that if you're that just means that people are getting out of unhappy relationships.
Exactly. That's what I think.
Around divorce back. And then a lot of people were more religious. And then, you couldn't get out. And so then you're just like, well, this is the best I got. I guess I'm going to have to stick with it. I don't think that people are necessarily less happy than they were in the 60s.
You had to marry the hottest person in your town, too.
You didn't have so many more options.
The hottest chick I know, or I run in. You needed destiny and fate back then more. Now all you need is just internet connection. You can just browse and browse and browse.
Exactly.
Have you guys ever read Aziz? I think it's Modern Love. Aziz Ansari, though. He had a whole book.
That's the one where he pushed the chick's head down and forced her to give him a blowjob.
What?
That was that blog post that came out about him.
Well, I know our teaser for the next episode.
Yeah. That went. I
Shit,
didn't hear. I didn't know Aziz did anything.
Allegedly.
Any stuff.
It wasn't
Ooh.
like sexual assault per se. It was just more like heavy coercion and like I don't know. A lot of people were criticizing the chick, saying that she just regretted it and like she should have been more vocal. But it's
Jay, we can ask him on our next show. He's coming on our next show.
Oh yeah,
let's our special guest next show. We'll ask him. We can bring it up.
Aziz. You know what? I'll text Aziz and see. If he's willing to talk about that on air.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't read that book, though, I definitely recommend it, or for any of our viewers, because he goes through all that, how dating was back then, how it is now, the stereotypes, stigma types. Is that a word?
Stigma
around it. Yeah. But it was great. But yeah, to your point, it's like that. There also comes, when you have a lot of choice, then there's an anxiety around like having the best. So it's a lot easier. I think it's if you have like 3 options for toothbrush than 300. And then you're like, oh, well, then now I need to do research. Or then if it's you're swiping on your phone, you're like, well, I could do better than her. Well,
exactly. People always want more. People are greedy. When it comes to money, they're greedy. When it comes to their significant others, people are greedy as well. It's always like, oh, I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. So people are not settling down. The marriage age has increased significantly over the last 20 years. People are getting married a lot later. People are trying to feel out. They're playing the field. It's a lot easier to play the field. So people don't want to settle down because they're always looking at the next option. It's easy now. Just swipe, boom. But go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
I was going to say marriage is overrated. But what's the point?
I think it kind of is, or I mean, to an extent. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with long-term relationships, but for me, that idea of marriage, of like making it official and putting in the documentation with the government that we're married now, I might do it eventually, but
you know,
I don't know.
It sounds like you both are scared of marriage to me.
I'm not scared of it.
Yeah, I am, dude, because
I think it sounds like
you're the wrong person and you're paying them, and you get divorced and you're paying them alimony, and if you have kids, custody shit. And there's, my parents got divorced and we went through all that, and like, yeah, it was a nightmare. It sucked, and like, I'm not saying I don't wish they'd ever gotten together, but I'm just saying, like, divorce doesn't seem like a fun thing for anybody. It just seems like a horrible experience, and then financially just
really, like the worst experience you could have. Like that is a huge fear, is like, oh, I thought that I was going to be with this person the rest of my life and I loved them so much, and then all of a sudden that changes.
Now we're arguing over the timeshare with the lawyers,
Yeah, but that's the big
I have to pay her fucking X amount of money for years and years, and I don't really get to choose that. And, it's a lot of bitterness around. I mean, I'm not saying there shouldn't be some financial split, but like, I don't know. I was listening to Anthony Cumia going on and on about his divorce with his wife. And like, he was just so bitter because it was like, he had to pay her for like 10 years or something. And they didn't have any kids. And like, they were young, and he's paying her like a ton of money. And then like, it's just messy.
But I think what's going on is that so many more people are getting divorced. A lot more people are getting divorced. So now you're hearing about it more. People are learning so much more through word of mouth, through the people that are getting divorces. So now people are kind of waiting to a later age to get married, because you typically are smarter. You make better judgment. You make better choices. Your judgment's better.
Less pressure from society to get married anymore, I think, too. I think a lot of times people
decreased. You think it's decreased?
Decreased, I think.
Well,
I think especially on women, I feel like it was like a sign of status for women to like be married, and if you weren't married, there's something wrong with you, or why are you single? But now being a single, career-oriented woman is like more.
Okay, I want to talk a bit before we go to the next segment. I want to talk a little bit about the dating apps, because you guys use the apps significantly more than me. Okay, so
I'm a savant.
Huh?
I'm a savant. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Will should
It's
start his
5:30
own app.
though, so our guest is probably going to join in soon. Do you see him on
Yeah,
the list?
yeah. So one thing I want to get to.
We can always talk about it after too. You know.
okay,
No,
let's hear his one thing. Let's see what it is. It'll be quick.
how do you guys know when you're using the app whether someone is actually serious or they're just using the app just to use the app and get attention? Because when you see someone and you're talking to someone at a restaurant or in the park or at a sporting event or at the bar or whatever, you typically get a sense. You can kind of feel the situation. When you're texting, you don't know what's going on. That's why I don't like the apps, because you never know if what the heck is going on at the end.
Neil, I would also say I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, because I've definitely seen you talk to a lot of people that were not that interested, and you kept going.
How many people have you seen me talk to that were interested?
A lot too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just
No,
put
I
that on the
agree.
record.
Neil is very smooth, very charming. People.
Too late. Too late.
But I would, for me, it's more. I mean, people are. You talk is talk, and you got to walk the walk, kind of stuff. So you gotta. I see people showing up that are interested through their actions, not what they're saying.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like the sooner you meet up in person, the better, because otherwise it is kind of a waste of time.
Yeah,
Because texting doesn't really do that much, and until you see what they actually look like in person, their pictures could look completely different and their personality could be completely different. So yeah, my advice would be, if you are
You gotta
doing the
meet up.
online dating, just
well, ladies, all the ladies that are watching this, Jay is single. I'm single. You know where to find us. We're right here waiting for you.
and
all right?
please, if you're
I don't know
reaching
what
out,
is Jay having a stroke. I don't know what's going on.
if you
I was trying to be handsome for the ladies.
Oh.
For all the ladies.
if you do want to shoot your shot, please send it to the Who Invited Will Instagram, not directly to them, because I want to see the shots.
Did you forget the podcast name? It sounded like you forgot. You're like the Who Invited.
You
Forget the
his
name
own
of the podcast. Wow.
I was gonna say Who Invited Me.
Woo! All right.
No,
That
but
being
yeah, I
said,
think-
our guest is here.
Is he here?
Perfect.
Yes. Do you want to introduce him when I admit him?
Yeah, let him
yeah,
get admitted
I'll
first.
introduce him. Let's
All right, let's bring him in.
bring him in.
Oh
Okay.
God, I'm nervous.
Oh my God, you're a terrible host.
Nate Earl.
Scooby-Doo!
What is cracking?
What's up, fellows?
What's up? Thanks for
And,
joining us.
How we doing?
Oh,
Doing all right. You know what it is. Just everyone
I'm doing great.
their houses for under various sanctions. Are you in Denver?
Yes, sir, I am.
Nice.
We have a curfew in 3 hours, but that's fine because I don't go outside. So
Yeah, exactly. You know,
So Jay, who we got today?
Nate Earl
Whoop,
is
whoop,
our
whoop.
guest today. A very funny comedian who I've seen around, and whose set we watched, his Comedy Works set that we're going to play in a few.
Thank you.
And I don't really know much else about you, except looks like that is, what is that, Game of Thrones?
Oh, that is
Is that a
my
Targaryen?
family coat of arms. It is a golden dragon fleet on a green shield, as given to me at a Renaissance fair when I was 4. So
Nice.
Wow, that must have been really special to receive.
Yeah,
a
man.
coat of arms at such a young age, huh?
It's not just some bullshit that I've had in my room for years and years for no reason.
So should we
For
call
decades.
you? Should we call you Sir Nate for the rest?
Ooh, I would like that.
Okay, sir. And it's
Yes.
an honor, sir, to have you on the podcast today. I think we
Cool.
have, like Jay said, we got the audio or we got the video of the stand-up. Should we jump into it?
Yeah, anything you want to say about the clip before it? We roll it?
I'll just say this. Who invited Will?
Yeah.
Hey.
That's me.
Cool.
No, yeah, this is. I did improv for a long time, and this is like me getting out of an improv rut and back into stand-up, and so, yeah, let's take a listen.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me see if I can share the video actually. Gonna have to black some of this out. Here we go.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate.
Hi, Nate.
Hi. So I lost 50 pounds 2 years ago. You guys gotta let me finish. I lost 50 pounds 2 years ago. I've since found them. I don't know what happened. I was like in shape. I was getting Tinder matches that weren't mistakes. I was going upstairs, you know, things that feel Did you guys know you can be thin and sad at the same time? I had no idea. I thought if I couldn't eat my feelings, I could like squat them out or something. It turns out there's no cardio to do to forget middle school. It's just That's why I'm not going to join another gym until it offers both physical therapy and group therapy, you know? All right, guy, push past those intimacy issues. Let's go. All right, class, follow along. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and talk about your mom. Talk about your mom. Put that gun down. Get those knees up, everybody. If you guys want to join, I actually get a free sample pack of Xanax for each person I sign up. So just see me after the show. Hey, what about terrible grapes? That's my pitch for olives. If you guys work for Big Olive here, you can take that into work tomorrow. That's the whole joke. I refuse to write more. Didn't we used to assassinate presidents? Not a call to action. If you feel moved, please do. But I just want to say of the presidents, most assassinatable, right? Most of them we need a sniper team or a guy with dynamite strapped to his chest. I feel like this, we just need like a well-placed roller skate. Just a stick of dynamite with a wig and some lipstick on it, right? Someone inscribe unsaid tweet on a wall. Boom. Okay. I think the reason it hasn't happened is we all know the pendulum's going to swing the other way, and the opposite of our current president is not Hillary. It's not even Bernie, you guys. I don't know much. I know it is the first male ponytail in office, for sure. Just, sup, my fellow Americans. I put patchouli in the Lincoln bedroom. We're gonna add 2 drops of CBD oil into the water supply per capita so we can chill the fuck out. It's a good tag. Like you want to meet my vice president, a golden retriever and a bandana. And you're not gonna vote for a dog? Washington outsider like that? Won't stand for any fat cats in Washington, that's for sure. Alright, that's the note I'm gonna leave you on. Bye.
Boy. Half of the entertainment was just watching you just look away from the camera and shake your head.
I mean, like sometimes there are tags that I've written since that for that joke that I haven't included, and like when I just in the middle of the set say to an audience member, "Hey, that's a good tag," that is a wasted opportunity, a joke opportunity. That, you know, all my improv training came back, and suddenly I couldn't fucking, you know, uh, act in the moment for that.
Yeah.
I
Do you-
think it makes so much sense that you did improv because I think you do such a good job of acting out the joke, you know, which makes it more funny.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that's
when
I
you,
noticed that.
yeah,
Oh, man.
Physicality of it, yeah.
right. He
If you're
transformed.
The working out joke, or even you're like the pendulum kind of like arm
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
go ahead. Go ahead.
I like really appreciate people who are low energy on stage. I could never do it. I feel like people who do stand up, either like sitting down or either people who choose not to, because there are people who do stand up who just don't have the emotional capacity to act out on stage.
Yeah.
But if you're choosing not to, you're leaving money on the table. Like that is, it's not going to be half, but it's like a 1/3 of your potential on stage is to do goofy movement.
Yeah.
Like in Dane Cook, it's like 90%.
Oh boy. Oh, let me rip my shirt off on stage. So that'll get some
Yeah.
laughs.
Yeah. But I think it takes a lot of confidence to actually act it out, you know, and I think that's what some people are lacking, that confidence to actually act it out on stage, don't you think? Or
You could call it confidence, or you could call it a cheap gimmick to not write more material.
yeah,
It's just a matter
Yeah.
of preference, right?
Yeah.
So
It
you
depends.
initially started off with improv?
So kind of, yeah. I worked at like a theater camp for a while before I even started comedy, so I would
Okay.
count that as improv. But then I did stand up very poorly for a long time.
Okay.
how long?
And, I would say a good year and a half. I was just kind of trying to force the same bad jokes over and over again. Where are you guys out of, by the way?
Will and I are in Denver right now, and then
Oh, hell yeah.
Neil's in Houston.
But
And
I live in
I've seen
Denver.
I've seen you
Okay.
at like an open mic or something along those lines.
Do you guys remember, have you, so I started about 5 years ago, and when I started, the one open mic I would go to every week was called Connor's, which is a bar in Denver that's, I'm sorry, Boulder, that's since been shut down. And it would have been perfect. Like there's a little pit and a stage for people and like tables for people to watch the stand-up, but nobody fucking wanted to. So it was just like stand-up done to a crowd of 3 and maybe other comics if they respected you. They don't. But
it was just stand up to an unwilling participants.
yeah, ambush comedy.
Stand up without consent. You know?
How did you get into the comedy work scene? Like, how does that even happen?
Oh, dude. So here's the secret to getting onto New Talent Night. Is you call in. I guess it's online, so you don't even need to call. For about 2 months, every week, and then your name gets on a list, and then you get 2 minutes to do whatever you want to in front of the crowd. And if you don't fuck that up, you slowly but surely rise through the ranks. There's the N set, which is the 2 minutes, C set 3, B set, which is 4, and then A-listers, which is where you get to do like 5 to 7, still not getting paid. Then there's Almost Famous, where you're doing like hosting and introducing actual touring comics and still not getting paid. And
Wow.
then, yeah.
I thought those guys were getting paid.
Well, when do you get?
Yeah, very few of them are.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
You're
that's
you're
a
hosting
lot
a
of
comedy work?
steps.
If you have something that people will do for free, it is smart business sense to not pay them, I guess, but
Yeah.
also fuck comedy work. Like, I don't know. It's the only game in town and benefits from that a lot.
Yeah.
It has monopoly.
That makes sense. And then it's like, but they're still charging people to come in. They're still getting the drinks, and they want you to bring all your friends.
Technically, if you're there as a comic, you should be buying stuff still.
Yeah.
Like, I am sober for personal reasons, but if I like, technically, you're supposed to do a 2-item minimum there.
Minimum, right? They're
Yeah.
getting their. So wait, even comics who go up have to pay a 2-drink minimum? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if that's true. I know that comics get a discount on drinks. I think it's like
Okay.
20-30% or something like that. Maybe most comics are just secret alcoholics, but
Yeah, I can see that. So how often are you going up, or do you have a favorite open mic that you go to?
well, back when comedy existed,
Yeah.
yeah, there are a lot of really fun open mics, a lot of ambush comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were around a few years ago for Los Tacos in Denver.
No.
Oh boy. Michael Sayedian had this great spot. It was a rooftop bar on top of a taco restaurant on Colfax.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And they would pump, like when the open mic started, they would pump the jokes out onto the street.
Wow.
That's cool.
For mixed results.
Yeah.
But that was beautiful because it was always packed and it was just a ton of fun.
Will, do you think it's that place? What's the place? Not Milk. What's the one above it?
Well, that's on Broadway.
Oh, that's not Colfax. I never mind.
Oh yeah, Los Tacos is dead.
Yeah.
It is now some sort of sushi place. It's near Slice Works.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
It's the
yeah, I
place-
know where you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
Argonauts right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the ramen place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we tried it, and oh boy, there's still at Sushi Go in the Highlands, like a sushi show. Sushi and comedy don't mix. It's just
I think I've been to the Sushi
Yeah.
Highlands one.
yeah.
Yeah, they
It's
were
a fun one, but it's I was doing that Trump bit, and I started it, and I could see, because they keep the lights on, I could see one of the audience members go completely red and do like eye daggers at me, and I was like, ha ha!
Yeah.
I'll bail on this bit. And how do you all feel about dogs?
I was gonna ask you about that Trump joke. Have you ever had backlash or anything on that particular joke? Because I feel like when you get into politics, you kind of getting a little edgy.
That is a toned down version of something I was trying to write right after the election, which was a lot of just the premise was, it's interesting that people voted because they hated Hillary, because it means that they voted out of spite, which I think has fueled one of most of the great American accomplishments. And then I had some guy come up to me and not yell, but do the very angry, pointed, quiet thing at me, and I was like, okay.
Even scarier.
Guys, not to interrupt, we're running out of time. Yeah, Neil, you saw it too, right?
Yeah.
Can we send you another Zoom link? We use the free version. All
right, I'm gonna bring him in.
We're waiting for Nate. He should be here in a second. I checked the footage. Nate, what's up? Sir Nate. Yeah, I checked the footage just because I got worried, and everything recorded. So we have the first.
No, yeah.
Just like, because I'm obviously so good with technology, I'm just like fumbling YouTube.
I was just fucking around mostly.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like, I looked on my Instagram, sending you the invite, and I have this habit. I haven't quit drinking for personal reasons yet, but I'm sure that is in my future point. But yeah, no, I have this habit of like drunk messaging famous accounts I follow, just like, you're such an awesome DJ, or like, hey, you mentioned this on your podcast and I thought you might like as if I know them personally, but when I get drunk for some reason, I'm like, I need to let them know.
Hey, I love your butt.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude.
You're anything like the other comics I know on Instagram.
Yeah. It's just like, it's all memes and butts, really. My feed.
Those likes are public, Evan. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Jay, who liked our post on our Instagram?
Oh yeah, we tagged
Russell Peters.
we tagged Russell Peters in some post, and he liked it. Probably thinking
Hey!
it was something. I'm sure he didn't realize that it was just some account. We tagged like every comedian in this, like, it was just like this photo. It had a bunch of like YouTube video links, so we just tagged everyone.
Hell yeah.
And then we tried to, we were like, oh, glad to be finally recognized among, our peers, and then like hard work pays off. But
So Russell might be contacting you later, Nate, after the show. I'm not
Ooh.
really sure.
if you want to tour and open for him.
Yeah, I can tell everybody what it's like to live in an Indian family.
He supposedly buys everyone who opens for him on the road of Rolex, so you have that to look forward to.
Ooh,
I don't know
okay.
if you're a watch guy, but
Sure.
like I'm a money.
Watches are still technology we need.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So did you really get? Well, you said you do improv as well. Do you prefer one to the other, or how often?
I mean, improv is much easier. I'll say that.
Really? Okay.
Specifically bad improv. Like, it's easy to be funny doing improv.
Because you can
and
work
have a good time yourself.
Agreed.
To be funny to other people is a little more difficult. And also improv, in improv, you have to rely on others, and that is a very mixed bag.
Yeah.
That's.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you said that bad improv is easy, but doing bad stand-up is like the hardest thing in the world. You're just like,
no.
Oh my!
You don't have to prepare for improv, which is great.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, because it's been a little bit of a time, but I was performing at Voodoo and going weekly multiple times to classes and then performing.
Nice.
And yeah, that is actually like the best summary. It's definitely more fun on stage if you're with the right group, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's funny or fun for other people watching.
Yeah. There is a different expectation with improv audiences to stand-up audiences.
Yes.
Where like you can fuck up doing improv, and that in itself is a joke, essentially, for the audience to laugh at. But if you fuck up in stand-up, the audience is just confused.
Yeah, it's awkward as hell, for sure.
Because then, it's and well, especially if you're letting the audience know you fucked up in improv, like, oh, your name's not Greg, it was Tony.
Yeah.
But then it's like if the improv, it should be at least somewhat more curated and worked out, so then they don't know if that mistake is supposed to be there or if you just are struggling through it. Yeah, and there's also on the stand-up side, there is more pressure because it's like, well, I was supposed to have thought through my material, and this is something that I want to present, not just something coming to my head to be goofy. So yeah, I do, I think, prefer stand-up though, for that reason of also not having to rely on other people, because sometimes you don't jive, and then it's not fun for you either.
Yeah, that is the I had like a good group of friends who all did improv that I did improv with, and we were on a team with like 2 other people, and those 2 other people were fuck ups. Like, one I am convinced is an alien on this planet to this day, because he did not communicate in a way that a normal human would. Like, not like foreign to this land, but foreign to the planet. Just completely. And he moved in such like creepy, like herky jerky motion, which is like, okay, you're a monster in a skin suit.
His skin suit was like malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Just wait, do you think it helps with your stage presence though? Like, do you think it helps you
Oh,
be comfortable on
definitely.
stage to do improv first? Because you seem pretty comfortable up there. I don't know if that's real or not, but
Improv will help you. There's definitely a fake it till you make it kind of thing, lie until you die. But improv will definitely, because if you're starting out in improv, especially for an audience, and you're not prepared, like there's no way to prepare essentially. And so like in stand-up, you can kind of hide behind your material. But with improv, there's just nothing. Like, or not nothing. There are like games and stuff to help you create ideas. But it's terrifying starting out. And improv for me was a great way to channel that terror and turn it into excitement.
You were talking about being prepared, how you need to be prepared for stand up and you kind of wing it when you go into improv. What's the best way that you figured out how to prepare your jokes? Like, how do you come up with your jokes and what do you do to prepare for your performances?
Ooh, boy. So
just before you get into it, I think you're hilarious. Like, I laughed at 90% of your jokes. I think you do really good acting out the jokes. This segment is supposed to be bomb or kill, and I haven't given out a kill on the show. This is my first kill I'm giving out on the show. It's a big deal.
Thank you.
No, there's a wall behind me. Your picture's gonna go. Well, that's a little weird. Anyway, yeah. Tell us how you hang
pictures of you in a room.
I want to pick your brain because you did such a good job. I really want to know how you got to be that good. You know.
So that definitely, like, there's multiple ways. One is, I think the best way to do stand-up, personally, for me, is to write something, rewrite it, and then be excited to share it. Because, feel like, man, I'm trying to think of a way that isn't dumb slang, but like feel like you're strapped going in, like knowing that you have something to make people laugh.
Like believe in yourself, like believe in what you made, believe in what you created, something like that.
Yeah, or just like, this joke is very dumb and you're gonna laugh a lot. Like, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself is my big audience advice. I will say that particular set was at the long end of a period of like depression for me. And so another way to get good at comedy is to just write 2 bits and then just do them over and over and over and over and over until people start giving you tags or encouraging you to write more or like coming up with more stuff on stage. I will say after the write and the rewrite, a big important thing that I think is scary to a lot of people, but if you want to get good, you just have to do it, is listen to your sets. Listen to every set that you do.
Yeah, totally.
There's sometimes gold in there of like that you make up on the spot, and sometimes there's like, oh, they didn't laugh at that. Why didn't they laugh at that? How can I adjust like my expectations? Especially in Denver, because there's like I feel like I quote this all the time, but one of the writers for Chelsea lately, I think his name is Ryan North. It's Ryan something. He says, conservatives will laugh at anything and then tell you're going to hell. Liberals will say, I'm not offended by that joke, but I can imagine a person who might be offended by that joke. And so on behalf of that imaginary person, I'm not going to laugh at your joke. And so it's very difficult to like create the correct tone for these fucking PC cooks.
No, but
open the city. Okay.
Oh God.
One of these
you were
days.
saying earlier.
What?
You were saying earlier that you had like a Trump fan or something who was confronting you. Like,
Oh,
And that made you change your joke or something, or I don't know wait, maybe I'm butchering what you said earlier. Maybe I'm just
basically the end point of that was just like, okay, I'm not going to talk about this for a while, and that's why the end bit of that is in there. From like, there's the shock of, I thought we used to assassinate presidents, and then the pendulum's going to swing the other way because now I got to make fun of both sides.
Yeah.
And yeah, old hippie dudes, which, you know, everyone can get behind making fun of because burnouts are dumb. Like, it's funny to oh man.
So, but basically, like, the audience reaction to it, like, if you get a negative audience member come up to you and be like, "You're a fucking idiot, you don't know anything about whatever," and screaming in your face or angrily gesturing pointedly in your face or whatever it is that enough to make you want to stop doing the bit, or do you think, there's something
yeah, I'm a coward. That's why I need a microphone to talk to large groups.
So you're not trying to like offend anybody or be controversial, or that's not like, you're not trying to shock people, I guess is what I'm saying. Or
I don't like, for me, I don't understand why people think that that's comedy. Like, I genuinely think that that's a real misapprehension of what comedy is for. In a big way, like for me, the big thing that made me interested in comedy in the first place was Patton Oswalt's Werewolves and Lollipops, which, if you haven't listened, is this very I mean, it's basically Patton Oswalt taking the voice of the liberal, angsty nerd of the early 2000s, of like late period Bush, and just expressing this weird cultural rage. Because before the early 2000s, it was like fine to hate women and the retarded and the weak. And it was just like, okay, let's maybe steer away from that.
And the Jews and the blacks, you know, just
yeah. You know, back when my immigrant mom talks funny comedians were still
that
large.
Yeah.
That fan was ruling the world.
And I do comedy to connect to people. I don't think that offending people is a good way to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to handle any incidents of heckling or drunk hecklers?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a reoccurring thing, or pretty rare?
I would say quarterly, biannually, it's a thing.
Oh, okay. So what's your strategy for, how do you, what lane do you go to like, you know?
It really depends on the heckler.
Rip your shirt off.
I mean, improv has probably set you up to kind of handle those situations in a good way, because you got to think on your toes. You know, you got to. You know.
But I don't think improv crowds usually heckle. I think if you heckle,
but it's prepping him to be thinking in that.
Thinking on your feet a little more.
Yeah,
it's hard because, oh boy, I don't want to make anyone have a bad night.
Yeah, exactly.
And but there's a needle you have to thread where you have to punish this person. And you also have to do it in a way that you can maintain control of the room. So you can't be too mean, or you have to just have the audience on your side against this person. Which is a mixed bag. Sometimes at open mics, like any place like Wide Right, once that reopens, and Irish Rover, there's so many comics, and so you can just kind of they'll always be on your side if they're listening. They're not, but you know.
So then it's easier to get the audience on your side against the heckler if it's like a bunch of comics, because they know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never any upside. I've never seen any case of where the heckler people ever take their side. Like, I don't get that. How I don't know, just like irresponsible and delusional are you that you think the person with the microphone on stage that everyone's there to listen to is somehow fucking up so bad, and you're going to be like the white knight to come in and say, well, no, you shouldn't be saying those jokes. And
Will, it's called being drunk, man. Come on, drunk confidence.
Yeah.
That's what that is, man.
That is true, though. Can you imagine if a heckler like won the audience over and then just like got up on stage?
Just gets up on stage. All right.
This
It's
is
like-
my mic. This is my stage.
All right.
A successful heckler revolution happens where the
We
audience
got another great kid coming out for you.
Is there anything else you want to plug or let our audience member know how to find you? Do you have some social media or?
Yeah, I'm on all social media at unfunnyoaf. That's my handle. And then before the studio was closed down, I was recording a podcast with Denver comic Michael Jeffries called Take Care of Yourself, where we do we have comics on and do their self-care for a week essentially and discuss it with them. Yeah, the latest episode with Nick Dean is a lot of fun. We discuss flossing.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
I love
important. Very
Yeah.
important.
Definitely once they reopen, go to Wide Right and Irish Rover and buy as much stuff as you can. Those places are great and support local comedy. Mutiny Information Cafe too. If you're in Denver, just fucking fuck up those places with your money.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, dude. Well, no, it's been awesome having you on. Hopefully, we'll get to share.
I'm not done.
Stage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're just starting. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Nate. Take over.
Should I leave? Or?
Are we recording?
We got
Is it
another.
recording?
We got another one of his sets. We're gonna play. Jay, start it up. This one's 30 minutes. Sit back and relax.
We've got.
Thanks so much for having me on. Yeah, this is a fun podcast to do, guys.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Nate.
man. Hopefully,
All right.
we can coordinate in the future. I'll definitely check out. Take care of yourself. I think
Thank
that
you.
was the name, right?
There is an exclamation in the title, so yeah.
We look
I'll see you
forward to-
guys out at Mike's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we look
exactly.
forward to seeing you up there, man.
Thank you.
All
See you.
right.
Bye.
Take care.
See you later.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Black Lives Matter. Bye, guys.
Yeah. See ya.
All right. All right.
All right. Awesome.
Cool.
Dental hygiene is very important.
I
Everyone.
love
out
how he
there.
was like.
Walk on these
He was
once a day.
like. He's like, I like a lot of low energy comics, and I could never be one of them. And I was like, you're pretty low energy. Dude.
Sure, maybe
You're
today.
low energy vibe.
Yeah, but on stage, I really wanted to ask him about those low energy comics. We didn't have enough time, but maybe our next comic or next person on the
Maybe
show.
we'll have him on again. Who knows?
I want to know, yeah, for sure. I want to know if those low energy comics are faking it or if that's their bit or if that's how they really are. But
No, like Chappelle, I think has become that guy in his latest.
I don't.
He sits down, he tells like long stories, and then I was talking to Barack Obama.
Yeah,
And
but
Chappelle
his
came over, and it's like 45 minutes later. There's a punchline.
but his old stuff, I think, is Dave Chappelle's old stuff is so
Yeah.
much better because he is yelling. I feel like yelling is I'll say it's a big part of comedy. Like it's so much funnier when you yell something.
Joe Rogan, he yells a lot.
Yeah. Well, there is a certain amount of to his Nate's point as well, where he was like, that's what my main takeaway from what he was saying was that when you're going on stage, have the mentality that you're excited and that you want to share that. And I think that energy and enthusiasm definitely comes across and makes people want to listen and maybe be a little bit more forgiving, or at least pay more attention. So whenever I go back up, I think I want to definitely amp up my energy level and hopefully
Sorry to interrupt, but you definitely gotta. It's like being a salesman. If you're gonna sell something, you gotta believe in what you're selling. Because if you don't
Yes.
believe in it, then the person who's buying it's not gonna believe in it. So you need to believe in your product.
Yeah, that's what he was saying too. He was like,
That's exactly.
got to
it.
go
That was
up
my point.
and
That was my point, Jay. Sorry, but that was my damn point.
what is it? Shit on J Day.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm not done was funny.
I wish every day was shit on J Day. Okay.
it is. Well, a lot of days are.
And
a
well,
lot of days
it should-
actually
well-
are. Neil.
just ask God.
Just ask God.
Yeah.
What? All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our final segment of the evening, shall
We
we?
should have asked him if he's on dating apps and what he thinks of them. I bet he would have had a funny take.
Well, it's too late.
He
Jay.
did.
You missed your chance, Jay. Okay, idiot. Okay.
No, he did have that one, or maybe it was just his little tagline. But I saw somewhere on his social media, his dating app profile will say, "I want food for thought," but then food for thought, but then it's thought THOT, and I laughed real hard at that.
Well, I'm glad you presented that really well for our viewers to really get a sense.
Yeah, guys, it was actually funny material. I just fuck it up like always.
Okay, final segment. Thanks for that, Will.
You made it.
Final segment advice. We're gonna call it. I think we've got a name for it. Neil's got issues.
Okay,
Neil's got issues.
We're going with that. Neil's got issues.
Is that what if you like the name of the segment, like our video.
You need to do like a little wipe, like Neil's got issues.
Yeah. Well, we'll let Jay edit that. He loves editing. Okay, so issue number 1. My roommate's room has a weird smell coming from it. How do I keep it from permeating through the rest of the house? I'd ask her to light a candle or something, but this is her BO. And that's an awkward conversation I'd like to avoid if possible. Any tips? I've tried candles, but that can only do so much.
I would think this was another one you wrote, Neil.
I did too. I thought, I was like, damn it, Neil, we told you no more questions.
Why? Because I'm talking about how bad Will smells when I live with Will?
Yeah.
See how the tables turned there, Will? Oh, come at me, son. All right. No, it wasn't. This was an actual question. So please give our...
You got to say
go first or second, Jay?
Just go.
Go. Hit it.
I'm going. I'm going to go now. Okay.
I'm starting, guys.
I'm starting my advice. Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to have the conversation. That's pretty much all I have for that one. You just got to,
Very helpful advice.
Tell them, right? Like if it's permeating through the house,
yeah, that's bad.
Then
what if they just naturally smell bad? That's what you got to tell them. Hey, man, you smell terrible. Or
deodorant.
Hey, girl, it's a girl.
Hey, man,
guys, I think it's easier to tell someone you smell, but girls.
But wouldn't you say like, hey, I don't know. You're right. It's hard. I had this situation happen with sex before.
Will says it's easy.
I had sex with somebody, and her lady regions smelled really bad. And then I was like, should I say something? But then I was just like, no, I should just probably never have sex with her again. Because it happened.
Well, that's an easy cop out, though. This person can't just be like, well, I guess I'm never living here again. What do you?
Yeah, get some peppermint essential oil, rub it under your nose every day until you can find a new place to live. But no, with this woman, it was basically like, it happened once, right, when we had sex, and I was like, that was a little, fresh. That was a fresh, new
pungent
aroma that I haven't. It was pungent, and then but then I was like, maybe it's not so bad. And then but the second time we did it at my place, and I made like eggplant parmesan for whatever reason. And then we ate, and we had sex after, and like the smell was really bad, and I almost threw up during having sex. Like I literally got nauseous, and so that was when I decided to cut it off. Cut it off.
Go incel.
Go incel. That's when I decided. You know what? I can't take this anymore. But no, I mean, like it's a really hard conversation to have because I asked people because she was cool, and I was like, should I tell her? Should I say something? Everyone was like, no, are you crazy?
But that's a lot harder. That like BO is different. Well, I mean, I think with the vagina smelling, I think it's a pH thing, and there are certain things you can do to get your pH back in line.
I've heard bacterial vaginosis. Have you heard of that one? There's bad smelling infection.
Will has the same thing.
So yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just a matter of putting on deodorant is not that hard. And I think people, I don't think she's doing it out of spite. It's not like I don't think she probably knows. Like I definitely have friends, people that
I'm not gonna shower for weeks until this
Yeah.
moves out.
But then you just don't think you hear that people just like they do go weeks and they don't think it's a problem, and having some kind of accountability, sure, that's gonna maybe be an awkward conversation to have, but I would say it's more passive aggressive to be starting to put up candles everywhere, or like hanging
20 candles burning on the
little
kitchen counter.
tree fresheners on her door.
Just
Like,
start hanging air fresheners on her door. And she'll get them on her doorknob.
yeah. It's
Tough one.
I wonder if it's something like if it's actually her or maybe it's her clothes. Like I had a roommate in college who long story,
Hey.
actually. I don't want to go into.
Fun fact:
No.
I've never put on deodorant in my life. That's true
Really?
story. I don't
I feel
smell.
like you've told me this and I still don't believe you.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that. Neil doesn't. His shit also doesn't stink. No, that's a lie. But he does. He really doesn't put on deodorant, which is nuts. Because he runs and does tennis and basketball and just doesn't smell, which is crazy. I smell.
Sounds like this chick needs to move in with you, Neil.
Hey,
Hey.
I am available.
Yeah.
This is what I did. I was actually this is a true story. I was dating a girl a few years ago, and she smelled. She really did. We ended up breaking up, and that was a part of the reason why we broke up. But what I did is it was I don't remember, it was her birthday or a holiday or something. But I was at Bed and Bath and Body Works or whatever, and I
Body Works.
I just love girls that smell good. Like, it's unbelievable. It's just I just love it. And I especially like strawberry or coconut is just, I don't know what it is about it, but I go crazy about it. So I went to Bed Bath and Body Works just sniffing around, and I found like this strawberry lotion thing, and I bought it, and I told her, I was like, hey, I was in Bed Bath and Body Works walking around, and I smelled this thing, and I immediately thought of you, and I think I would love it if you would wear this when we hang out and stuff. And she did.
And
But
did it
I
make
just
a
couldn't.
difference?
It was all over her apartment too. Like, that was the big thing. Every time I go over, I could like just smell it. It was just, and it was her. It was definitely her. It was just stinks.
You just got to be, hey, let's have sex in the shower again. I really love when you get really soapy, especially under your armpits.
And make sure to put that lotion everywhere. Yeah, so that's what I would do. I mean,
everywhere.
But I never told her. I don't think I ever told her. I think that was always a secret. To this day, I don't think I ever said, hey, you smell bad. I just couldn't.
Where's your lotion? You didn't wear your lotion?
Now that I'm older, this was like 5 or 6 years ago. I think now I'm older, I think I would just do it. I'd say, hey, listen, I think that there's something about the way you smell, and it really bothers me. Or
it was her like body odor, or like her skin everywhere, or under her armpits. You're the girl that you were dating.
It's just the way she
permeated
smells
from her. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Last question, because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a longer one. This is more serious. How do I stop letting social media affect my mental health? This is a long one. A few months back, I followed a lot of positive and motivational pages to make me feel better on Instagram, because I feel like I'm always comparing myself. It only helps a little, because even when I post, I just continue to judge myself and compare my likes and comments to other people around my age. I feel like people are going to judge me for not having as many likes or having few comments. And then they'll think I have no friends, or think, why didn't my friend comment? Why didn't that person like my photo but liked hers? It's really uncontrollable. When I posted today, I took a nap because I was tired, but also because I knew I would be watching my likes otherwise. I know I need to work on not checking other people's likes and comments, but just seeing them on the homepage affects me. I hate posting, but I want something to look back on, and a lot of likes does make me feel good, even though that kind of thing shouldn't. How do I stop letting social media ruin my thoughts? If I stop looking at other posts, then will that even help? Because the same thoughts of comparing myself still run in my mind.
Well, for me, I think that's a big problem with a lot of people these days. Of like, it sounds like she knows what's going on, that it does come down to comparing yourself, and comparing never is any good. People are always posting the best versions of themselves, and what you see online of what your friends are doing is not the truth. It's what you curated to make people look like you're having a great time. And sure, it could be a good time, but no one's as happy everyone is in the same boat as you. For me, I would say I noticed the same thing. I didn't have Instagram for a super long time, and then I got it, and I did the same thing. As soon as I posted something, then there's anxiety of like, oh, well, is someone going to see it? Are they going to like it? And so for me, if you want to keep track of what you're doing, there's nothing, why not just do that for yourself and have a folder of those memories? Like having, sure, I understand you're wanting to share with other people, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Well,
Other
what
people, what?
No, go for it.
I just think that it's easier said than done, and just removing the temptation to just get off social media. I really do think that could be something that would help, because then you're not comparing.
Yeah. What does she like about social? Like, that's what I don't really understand from the post. Why? Like, what is she?
She's posting because she
Joy.
wants to look back and see all of the time she had, and it's a good way to put all of that
Is that
stuff
what she
to
said
one.
in the thing?
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
So that's why I said put it in like a folder, and then you can still have those memories for yourself. Why is sharing them? You just want the recognition.
Well, Will, you made a really good point, and the fact that what you post on social media is not necessarily real life. And this is what I've come to conclusion with over the years. I know a lot of people who post things, and I know personally that's not how their life is. And then I know people who have great lives and they barely post at all. So my conclusion is that I've developed, my theory, is that a lot of the people that don't post are typically having much better lives, and they don't need that validation from other people. Then you've got those people like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at the nice car, look at the nice food, blah, blah, blah. And they need that validation because life isn't that great, and they want to show other people, but look, it really is that great. See, look.
it sounds like she's kind of like that, though. Like, because to me, it's really about the comparing yourself to other people, which seems to be the problem, right? Like then she's going on this like long mental, oh, are they gonna like it? What if they don't like it? What if it makes like maybe look like I don't have friends? It sounds like maybe she just has issues with self-confidence, or issues with, because if you think your life is great, it's not really going to matter what people do on social media or what other people's lives are doing. Like, comparing yourself to other people, to me, seems like it's something that I think everyone does, but it comes from maybe some kind of insecurity you have about your own life, or your own, your own experiences or something. And I don't think there's ever really a reason to compare yourself to other people. I mean, it can help you, I guess, get better in some ways, but you should always think, well, I'm unique. I'm my own. I'm living my own life, right? And like, really, what other people do or don't do, it doesn't really matter, or if they like what I'm doing, as long as I feel good about it, right?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I would never hang out with someone in public that doesn't get at least 50 likes on their post.
And that's what I was gonna
Seriously.
say. That it gets down to, it's
Like seriously. Like, I don't even know. Like, Will, like, I don't know if we can hang out anymore. Seriously. Like,
but that's
if you don't
what
get in the double digit, if you don't get in the double digits soon, like, I'm moving out. Seriously.
You're a loser with a
crazy.
terrible social media presence. We could never be friends.
Well, then that's
saying that to somebody.
You're wanting to be. You're like, well, people aren't gonna think I have friends. But you do have friends, and those are the people you should be sharing with intimately, like your close friends.
Right, that's what I mean.
Why do you care about what your high school, some guy you played volleyball with in high school, cares if you like? It's just kind of a front that it doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, I'd recommend that this person just get rid of their Instagram. I would just get rid of their social media. You don't really need it. And your true friends will be around outside of social media.
And you can share with them, and they'll know what's going on anyways. Those are the people that matter.
Just
that
cut down make your profile private, and only have people who are your actual friends, and just don't share it publicly if it gives you anxiety. But again, I don't really like, you just got to believe in yourself, girl. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about, your life is awesome. You are awesome. You are cool. Your friends are cool. The number of fucking fake internet points that you get on your posts means literally nothing unless you're getting paid for marketing on social media. You shouldn't really care.
Yeah, like
Who Invited Will podcast, and you have millions of followers and tens of thousands of likes, and you know, just like an enormous influencer marketing revenue stream. It's just, that's the point when you need to really care what your social media.
Russell Peters is constantly liking your posts. I mean, when you get,
we can't book guests fast enough.
yeah, then it matters. But the rest, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, good answers, guys.
That's
That's
an Instagram friend. I'll like all your stuff.
She should add us. She should add. I think
add us. We'll like every post you do religiously. We'll make a script, a bot that crawls through your page and just signs up fake Instagram accounts and gives you like artificial likes.
Hey, don't promise things you can't back up, Jay. Okay?
No, I'm a computer programmer. God
He
damn
is.
it.
It's true. It's true, ladies. He's a computer programmer.
Yes, ladies, I'm a computer programmer.
Without
my other attractive traits.
All right, Bob. You guys got anything else for the? That's Neil's got issues. If you have issues, send them my way. We get out to the podcast and we answer them.
There it is. There's the pitch. Yeah, I guess we're at that time. Make sure you guys follow at UnfunnyOaf on Instagram, Twitter, wherever else.
And then he's got Nate Earl's got a fan club on Facebook as well. There's actually like hundreds of people in it, so check him out. He's a funny dude.
He is a funny guy. That's his Instagram account, Nate Earl, the Nate Earl fan club,
Correct.
or Sir Nate as we.
That's his Facebook.
Yeah.
All right.
Instagram too, but anyway, yeah. So thanks, guys. This was good. This is maybe a little low energy, but we need some of these chill pods, you know, just to relax, to get into the groove of things. You know, we don't always have to be on point. Will looks like a ghost of Will has inhabited his computer over there.
Will's a White Walker, everyone.
Yeah, he's a white man walking.
Schneider 44.
All right, guys. Episode 5 in the books. Thank you. Bye.
Follow us on the books.
Peace.
On the gram.
On the gram. At Who Invited Will. WhoInvitedWill.com. Bye.
See ya. All right, I'm recording.
You recording?
I am. Just wait a minute. Let me get the mouse.
Will
looks scared.
I look like I'm dying because I am.
But this is what it's going to be like once we get out of quarantine and we're all hungover on Sundays if we record
We
them.
should not do them on Sundays, and we gotta do them on like a Friday while we're getting pumped for the weekend.
Friday beer. It's a Friday beers episode, everybody.